Okay, so the next topic is completely unrelated to music or any of that stuff. But I just want to talk about how a lot of people, I see a lot on social media where people will make posts like, me and my friends, we're going to be rich one day. Like, watch, we're going to be rich, we're going to make it, yada, 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 right? Which, nothing wrong with that. But I just want to bring up the topic because I was just saying how a lot of people, this kind of goes into the next subject. So a lot of people will say stuff like that, but if you like, when you really observe these people, first of all, don't really even have a plan. Cause like when people say like, "Oh, I'm gonna be rich," I'm like, okay, cool. So what's the plan? Like I'd be like, what's the plan? Because you can't just dream it. Like that's me. I'm a realist. I'm not a dreamer. I don't say I'm gonna do something or be something and don't have a plan in place. So you can't be like, me and my friend's gonna be rich one day. Watch. I was like, it's all right. So how are you gonna be rich? Like, let's hear the plan. And then people, first of all, they don't have a plan. And second of all, I observe a lot of people have a lot of bad spending habits and not really preparing for the future. Because the funny thing about saying you and your friends can be rich one day, even if it's not with entertainment, the arts, starting a business, us average everyday people could still become rich through investing. So it's just funny when people say that because like, usually when people say that, it's because they have dreams of being like owning business, like being really successful, right? But no one ever really thinks about how you and your friends can actually be rich one day without those things. You could guarantee that for yourself by simply just long-term investing. And so many people our age already missed the start date. Like you should have been investing since 18, 19, 20, 21 maybe is like the last year to really get your foot in the door. Like it's not too late, but you're kind of missing out on actually being rich one day. So I just want to talk about that, like how people have bad spending habits, like they're always going out, spending their money crazy, doing a whole bunch of stuff they're doing, and at the same time, not like you could do all that and enjoy life, but you still should actually do things that will make you rich one day. So
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to this Tyler interview again because he actually talked about that where he used to tweet like 6, 7, well, God, what year is it? Maybe 10 years ago already. Jeez, we're getting
time is
old. But
flying.
he would tweet like, "I'm gonna get a Grammy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that," and he
and he did
got
it.
it all.
That's
But
like, I'm so mad at, like, by the way, I'm so mad. My Twitter account is suspended right now. But that was like one thing, I don't know if you remember, I always tweeted. I always took pride in the fact that everything I said I was going to do on my Twitter, you could see for yourself. Well, suspended, but you could have seen for yourself. I literally did everything I said I was going to do. Like, I was like, I'm going to get my master's by 22. I said, when I graduate, I'm going to get my job, car, an apartment in that order, done. Literally there's so many references of things. Like I said, I'm gonna try this restaurant one day. Tried those restaurants, like it's like a place in Texas. I said I wanted to go to, been there. Like everything I said I was going to do and wanted to do, I have done so far. Like I still have other things obviously outstanding, but I have like a track record of doing everything I said I want to do because
yeah,
I actually am a realist. Like I don't just talk. I do actions. Like
yeah, and that's the most important thing is that you have to be able to actually do something. Like it's like say those things but then do it. Like saying
yeah,
that something and then doing not like nothing about it is crazy. It's
it's
like
just laughable.
it's like the same thing as saying, oh, I'm gonna get a six pack and
Never
never
go
go
to
to the
gym.
gym and never work out.
But
It's
then
like
you're
the
like, one day I'm
same.
gonna go,
It's
one day
like
I'm gonna go, one day I'm gonna
yeah,
go.
and then you just
Next
never
thing you know,
go
you're 60.
and then you're dead.
Yeah.
Literally like
Like,
get some action. We don't have as much time as people think that they do.
yeah. We don't. Like, it's crazy. It's already been a year, like, since I started studying for the CPA exam. And I'm like, wow, like, I really slacked. Like, I'll admit that. Like, I really slacked with studying. And it's been a year. August 10th will mark 1 year. And
And
that's crazy. Like, I only took one exam out of four.
And if COVID didn't put that in perspective to people for how fast time from like really flies,
Yeah.
then you should see how quickly would have been 2 years. It's over
We're
2
about to
years.
be
Right?
we're about to be in 2022, and COVID started early 2020.
Yeah, if that doesn't show you, but that's how every year is. So
Every year,
this
yeah.
time flies exactly the same way. It just depends on what you do in that time. If you didn't do anything, if you didn't start a hobby, if you didn't learn something new, if you didn't try
Yeah.
something new during this time, then you're doomed to fail.
Like, and then people always say, "Oh, we're young.
No, you're
Don't
not.
rush."
No.
Like that's the worst advice. I'm gonna tell people that that's the worst advice for everything. Even people will be like, "Oh, you're in your 20s. Don't worry about it. No man. Don't worry about a relationship." But then now you're 30, 35, looking
40,
for a husband. Like
50.
your biological clock is ticking. Like
You're gonna be on Facebook talking
yeah,
about how you hate men.
yeah. Like that's the thing. Nothing is really you have a lot of time.
You don't have a lot of time.
But we said with investing, with long-term investing, like index funds, like the things that we opened when we were like 20, 21, you're supposed to start those things at those age. Like that's the only way you like I said this in our last podcast, we're going to be millionaires just based off our investment portfolios. And so when we say, oh, we're gonna be rich one day, no, we really are, because we actually invest every single month into our index funds or our 401ks. 401ks every paycheck. And the way those both are set up, we're literally going to have millions by like what, late 50s, early 60s, right?
I mean, it depends.
Not like it's not like we're going to be like multi-millionaires, but at least like two.
Well, you could.
You could.
But I mean, that's still multi.
Yeah,
it's more money than people got. It really just depends, because I invest now.
You invest a lot.
Yeah, and also
more than me.
I don't do it monthly. I do it bi-weekly.
I mean, I do my index fund monthly.
Which also, just real quick to help your compounding too, it won't make necessarily a huge, massive impact on your investments, but the more frequently you invest, so if like you invest once a week or once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks, it's a lot better than doing it
like
once a month or once every, like, putting in 10,000 once every 6 months or something like that is not as beneficial as doing it more frequently, because you can take advantage of the compounding, and you could take advantage of drops in the market and stuff like that. So quick tip, but yeah, people just need to have some action. And I think the biggest thing is just being educated. We talked about this on one of our other episodes already.
That's the thing. Like I said, you actually can be rich. Like those won't be dreams, and when you actually know what you should do with your money, and stop going out every weekend. Like, I hate to be like that type of person. Like, that's why literally the title of this podcast is Life is Short, but Don't Be Stupid. Like, we get it. Life is short. We should be enjoying our lives and living the way we want to live. But, you know, God willing, you live your full extent of your life until you're like 80s, 90s. Some people might get to 100. You're going to be living a lot of that life struggling if you're not making the smart moves now. Like, you have to be smart. And that's why I just said, life is short, but don't be stupid.
I think the interesting part, too, is that people see entertainers, YouTubers, TikTokers, anybody in the public eye on Instagram or whatever, and they see those people and then they think that they're going to get it. But the interesting part about it is that usually the people that say that they're going to be rich don't do any of those things. They don't have a hobby. They're not really creative. They don't invest. They don't do anything. So it's like a very interesting kind of
thing.
They're
just dreaming, and like they think it's just magically gonna happen. Like, I think because of social media culture, people don't really know or see all the work that truly does go into like everybody who's successful. Like, there's a lot of work that these people do that you're just not seeing. Like, these entertainers, they're in the studios hours and hours and hours, dance practice for, you know, performances. Like, they're doing a lot of work. Like, and business owners, a lot of people are doing more work than the average person, and you can't even dedicate like an hour or two to something a day and you think you're gonna be rich. Like, no, it's much harder than just even our 9-to-5s. A lot of people who are rich work much harder than us regular 9-to-5 people. People be like, oh, I'm my own boss. I got my own hours. Yes, but a lot of those people end up working a lot more than the average person. And you sitting there saying, I'm gonna be rich one day, like, you really don't even got the drive for it. Like, let's be real. Let's be brutally honest, because, yeah.
I'm gonna paraphrase something that Elon said, where he said something to the effect of, it's not enough to work 40 hours a week on anything, because everybody works 40 hours a week. Like, we work 40 hours a week just doing our regular job. So all you're ever going to do is be in that same, all my coworkers work 40 hours a week too. So how am I working harder than them?
Yeah.
I'm not. So you end up being in the same place. He said you have to work 80 hours a week. You got to work, because then you're working twice as hard as everybody else, which means you're going to get twice the results as everybody else, as long as you're doing the work intelligently too. Like, don't be working for no reason. And
it's always a small element, I feel like, of luck and everybody's success, but not necessarily though. That's kind of a slap in the face to say that. And I said that before. Like, I'll be contradicting myself. It's really not really luck.
Especially because business people are opportunists, so it's not necessarily that they're lucky. It's that they saw something missing and they took advantage of it. So it's
like
really,
the people who invented that bubble wrap pop toy.
Yeah.
Millionaires.
Yeah, just stupid.
Of a fad.
And you know, it's not even...
People get rich quick.
I can't even say it's stupid, because it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, because again, to talk about the Tyler interview, he said it's all about your perception, what your scope is. The things that you're into are based off of what you've experienced. So, like, if people like to pop those things, why would that doesn't bother me. Somebody
Yeah.
had the thought process to make that thing, and they're making money off of it. So
Yeah.
it's like it's action. It's taking action, starting an LLC. Don't make an
Doing
LLC for no
something.
reason.
Yeah.
Just take a step.
Yeah,
So
and that's if you. That's the thing. Like, and being an entrepreneur and a business owner is not for everybody. But it's the people, like the people that we're talking to, it's the people who say they're going to be rich. Because, you know, like I said, I'm investing in 401k and index fund, and that's my plan to get rich. But I'm fine with my 9 to 5. I really am. Like, if that's all I had to do, I'm content with that. Like, I really don't even have a desire to own a business and none of that. Like, that's just not me. I feel like this is not who I am. And the thing is, if you're like that, if you don't even have desire to do that and you're fine with just working your 9 to 5 and being successful and climbing a career ladder, then do that. But you can't at the same time have that mindset and then in the same breath say that you're going to be a billionaire. Like,
you know, I was just thinking while you were talking, it was it's that I was thinking that if you educated people on how to do these things, that they would do it. But then I was sitting there thinking, I was like,
they wouldn't.
they wouldn't do it because there's so
people-
much information right now that you can go and listen to that
Yeah.
people would never listen to.
That's why even like the Forex people, I don't even want to get into the IM Academy people, but at least the thing I could just see like the silver lining in all of that is that you have a lot of these people who didn't even go to school for business who are learning about how to invest. And like that's, I mean, I don't know if I consider Forex trading investing because that's just trading for me. Like in my opinion, that's just trading, which is almost equivalent to gambling. But at least people are learning like about financial instruments and they're learning about things that they can do. At least like they're putting their money into something that's not alcohol, weed, clubbing, eating at expensive restaurants. Like at least they're actually making some sense. But I can't, you know, there's more negative to IM Academy and MLMs than positive. But at least you're kind of giving, like, that's the thing I'm trying to see the positive of. Like, even though I think the IM Academy all is detrimental to the Black community, the positive that I see is that at least Black people are like learning about investing.
I wouldn't even give them that much credit.
I know.
I know what you're saying, but I wouldn't even give them any credit at all because
That's true. Because they're just teaching
they're not
them
learning
Forex.
about investing. They're not
That's
even teaching
true.
them about Forex.
That's true, they're not.
They're not even really teaching them. I see their education because you can't even
And they
teach
use
Forex.
demo
There's nothing even to teach
There really is nothing to teach. And like,
because they don't know. Like it's
they really don't.
like they.
It takes years to master that stuff.
And you
years.
even then, it's like you're the value of everything is up for interpretation. One day
You
we
could
might
be an expert in Forex and still lose.
One day we
bad.
might be like, yo, you know what? I don't like China. Let's drop the value of the yen, and now the yen is nothing.
Yeah,
Then
and
that's-
everything collapses.
and
Like,
no, there's nothing in a book that you could have read that would have prepared you for that. There's nothing in a book that would have prepared you for the impact of COVID. There's nothing
Yeah.
that you can do. So even then, they're not even educating anything. No.
true. And in all honesty, if they really did care for Black people and minorities, they would be teaching them about all the ways to invest.
Yeah.
Long-term investing is the safest thing.
Why don't you just
Put your money into a fund and let it sit and grow. You don't got to do nothing. You don't got to trade. You don't got to watch charts. Just put your money into the account.
I wonder why they didn't just take advantage of like the crypto.
They are too. That's a part of their thing, their program. They talked about Dogecoin and Bitcoin
But I feel like that would have been more enticing than
and Forex.
because
Well,
more
the
people.
the CEO, he created this company like years and years ago
Well, yeah.
before the crypto boom even happened.
Because I think, you know what, never mind. I'm not even going to say what I'm about to say because they probably would end up doing it. So, yeah, I just, action. Take action.
Yeah,
And,
like that's the thing. If you really want to be rich, you have to actually do the things that are going to make you rich. Like sitting there and dreaming about it because social media makes everything seem so attainable. I feel like and that's the problem.
Yeah, people think that things are easy or
Yeah.
I was just talking to my dad about this where, where people might have because, he's extremely successful. People
Mm-hmm.
think that it would be easy for people to think that his success was easy because it's almost like the Instagram thing where everybody only posts their successes.
Yeah, and
so
you
they,
only see the results.
yeah,
you
they
don't
only
see the work.
They don't see like we have a whole house full of books on all how to do this, like project management, like the actual textbooks of how to use Microsoft Word 1999 or like how to do all these different things. Like you would never see him up till 4 a.m. reading a book on how
Yeah.
to do things.
And the
But
thing, the average person's not doing that.
And they're not.
They're up at 4 a.m, binge watching Netflix. They're up 4 a.m, texting a guy who don't want them. They're up till 4 a.m, out in the clubs. But you want to be rich.
And that's why he's where he is, and everybody else that he went to school with is on Facebook complaining.
And that's why I don't care to be a loner.
Yeah.
I don't be going out. I don't have a lot of friends at all. I really only have like one true friend and him. So I don't mind. I don't care to be out. I don't care to be in people's face. Like it gets boring. It's so repetitive. Like it's like people really find this fun. I don't. But you know,
What I find fun is one of the things that I'm going to purchase one day.
what, a boat?
See, you already know where I'm at. I'm getting me a boat.
Yeah,
To me,
I was gonna be those rich 40-year-old, 50-year-olds
that everybody hates.
that hates, yeah.
But I don't care.
Cause that's the thing. Like we're giving up these fun 20s that everybody talks raves about. I'm like, it's so fun, but you're complaining on social
I'm gonna
media
have
every
my-
week how you're lonely and
I'm
want a
gonna have
man and
my
or
fun
a
40s.
girl. Yeah.
I'm at my fun 40s and fun 50s out on my boat in the middle of the Atlantic
obviously-
Ocean with no cellular device service.
And obviously, if it happens to work in our favor, like I would obviously love to be rich now while we're still young and vibrant, no kids. But I
course.
don't mind one day actually
And you-
guaranteeing myself to have money.
And you still take those steps because
Like this.
but you know, this one I feel is a little bit different because we talk like this anyway. We're like, we might as well just record it because people
Yeah.
might learn something.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're actually cared to teach people stuff. Like we always have long Instagram stories,
Yeah.
long threads on Twitter. I'm like, let me just have a podcast so we could
Yeah.
actually get some value.
Or like our individual YouTube channels or things that were like our hobbies or things like that. So it's more than just investing. It's like you have to put yourself out there in a million
Like
different
you with
ways.
your music too.
Because they say like just try. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really all there is to it. Try, but like really try. It doesn't mean try to me does not mean make an attempt. Try means that you
Like
you
you're
do
putting
it.
the effort in for at least a while too. Like dedicate some time to it. 'Cause people feel like they don't see results and then they give up on it. Like
Because like
and they spend like a week on it.
yeah, for me for music, I haven't sold a beat to a major artist, and I've been making beats for like
10 years.
10 years.
Like it's been since you were in high school.
Yeah,
Right?
since I was actually like the first time I messed around with FL Studio was like I used to download the demo version, and because like you couldn't, the way they did it is that you could save a project, you can make beats, but you can never reopen it again. So I would make beats and stuff like that, and I would just play around with the demo, and I started messing around with that in middle school. But then I actually got like more
Like,
informed. Like
yeah, like
I'm
in high
not
school.
gonna say what I did to acquire
Yeah.
FL Studio. We're not gonna put that out there, but I got the actual version, and then
Yeah. And then
you know.
since
But
then,
if I
like,
gave
since
up,
I've known you, you've been making beats like,
but if you just give up,
and you never know. Like you could sell a beat tomorrow, and what if you quit today?
yeah,
And that's why you just keep going.
you might have made a beat from 8 years ago that now gets placed today, and it's just like, you know,
and there's always perspective. Like there's always hindsight. like-
keep working.
Because that's the thing. Like if people don't realize how important the work that they put in is until they do get successful. Because like I said, let's say you sell a beat and you're sitting like, wow, like all these years I could have gave up and was like frustrated. And good thing I kept going. Now I'm selling this beat that I made in college. Like you just never know.
Yeah,
So and that's the thing. Like I can respect that you actually like put in a lot of work and have a lot of different hobbies and stuff that could make you rich in our 20s. So
yeah.
yep.
And the more you do, the more opportunity you have. The more you try to do things, the more opportunity you have. So if you only have one thing, then go as hard as possible for that one thing. If you have a few things that you're good at, or even if there's a few things that you're okay at, like that's fine too. Nobody has to be amazing at anything. Like as long as you make it you and you care about it, then it could lead somewhere. Somebody will probably connect with it. At least one person.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep. So
We
that
got-
really is the main thing. Like you don't want to be struggling.
We got the Air Force
Yeah.
One flying past.
We live right outside New York, so there's always a lot of air
A
traffic.
lot of
And we
helicopters.
live right by the airport.
But, yeah.
But yeah, that's the main thing I want to emphasize. Like, you don't want to end up working beyond retirement, like with the whole life is short mentality. Because life is short, yes, but there's a balance. Like, there's people who spend their money like crazy on just to impress the internet. Like, you have nothing to show for it except trying to impress the internet. And what's gonna happen when you're 50 or 60, when we won't even be using social media like that anymore? You won't have nothing to show for it. You're still gonna be working. Probably beyond the average retirement age because all you did was impress the internet in your 20s and made it look like you have money. When you really don't.
Yeah, that's why I'm like psycho but you know, I'll always keep bringing up this point to you, but sometimes you just can't have things. It would be great. I make more than enough money.
You don't deserve it.
to go
Not to be
buy
rude,
some-
but you don't deserve the life that you really want. To go
Yeah.
out every weekend.
You didn't
like,
work hard enough. I don't work.
vacationing every week. Like
I would love a boat. I didn't work hard enough to get a boat yet,
Yeah.
so I don't get a boat. But some people will want a pair of sneakers or want something that they didn't work hard enough for, and then still go do
And
it.
still get it. But now they gotta hold themselves back for weeks.
Like,
until they make their money back.
I'm really gonna go get a Tesla, but
Yeah, and
I
you
don't
could have been got one.
yeah, but I just don't feel in my soul that I deserve it yet.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not going to get it. But then some people would have the ability to do it, and then
get it.
and then they would go do it,
Which
and that's why
it's fine.
No, it's not.
But at the same time, it's not if you really can't afford it.
No, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like, if you really didn't deserve it,
Yeah.
then you just can't. Sometimes you just can't get it, and then people go out and get it. Like me and Brandon, my brother, were talking about it, about like. I'm like, who's sitting here modding these Model S Teslas that are like $70,000? And then he was like, yo, those people, that's all they have. They have the Model S car and they live like in project housing, but that's like their thing.
And that's the thing though, too, to go with that, like the whole living luxurious, but then you go back to like living in shambles is not cute. Like
That's
how
crazy.
you bringing a luxury car to the hood? Like I'm sorry, like I don't care if this offends anybody. That's dumb. That's so dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like I would never. Even like living here, there's a lot of luxury cars in our apartment building, which is funny because like we live in an apartment, so it's kind of like I judge some people in this building, but we don't know, they might have properties somewhere else, and this might just be a property that they rent. But it's like I'm just know for me, I'm not buying certain stuff, still living in an apartment. Like there's just certain standards I have for myself. Like
Or living with your parents.
yeah, especially that. That's why, like, yeah, when we still lived with our parents, like, there's a lot of stuff. I'm like, how crazy would I look doing this? And I'm waking up and I'm still saying, "Mommy," like, no.
That's crazy. Saying mommy is crazy.
What? I would say you gonna call your mom mommy? You say mom.
Nah, yeah.
You say boring.
Or mama.
I'm childish. Me and my sisters, we still call our mom mommy.
Yeah, you can't
Our
wear
dad did.
you can't wear Gucci and go back to the hood.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It's just dumb. And like so many people, like they just care so much to look like they have money and don't actually have money. Like I feel like, just based off the statistics, like, you know, my salary is in a certain percentage of, especially our age group, our race, our age group, and then the entire U.S. population is a small percent, you know, and knowing that information is just funny. Like when I walk into a room and I know, like, out of like my peers, I probably have the highest salary, and I probably look like I make the least because I don't do my nails, I don't wear a whole bunch of jewelry, I don't got all sorts of designer. I mean, this is yours, this is Raf, but I usually like don't really like. The only thing I really spend money on is my shoes. I have a Louis Vuitton bag I got for a graduation gift, and I got that Dior little bag, that saddle bag that I got from the Real. So it's a hand me down. I could have been brought so many bags. Like I could look like I could try to keep up. Not even try to keep up, but try to impress everybody else. And like why I'm look like I got the least amount of money in a room full of people I know I make more money than. It's because I'm not stupid. Like life is short, but I'm not dumb. Like I just don't feel like it's necessary to spend my money that stupid on things. But
I'm just give one last thing because we've been killing this topic. But it's like a thing. Life is short, but sometimes it's really not. And I'm gonna use my grandma as an
your
example.
grandma's almost 100.
She's almost 100 years old.
Yeah, and she's living comfortable.
And she's living more than comfortable, and hasn't worked in 30 years. Most people wouldn't be able to do that, especially where the city that she lives in. Most people wouldn't be able to even do that for a year, because you have to really think about what your life cost you. You can't.
And that's like the thing with Prudential, like where I work at. The retirement thing that we have, they tell you, they let you check everything that you want, that you know, like what your lifestyle is. So for everything I like to do, travel, like, you know, I like eat out here and there, like I like to wear nice things sometimes, like, so, you know, I like to obviously do my hair and stuff. So based off my lifestyle, like Prudential told me how much I need to have in my retirement, and it gives me a whole plan. And so that's the thing, like for me to keep up with a certain lifestyle, there's a certain amount of money that I need to invest into my 401k. So when I don't have to work between my pension and my 401k, I'm going to be set. And like you said, your grandma has been doing this for 30 years. So you have to think about people's lifestyle that they have, times that daily lifestyle by 365 days, and times that by how many years that you don't want to work. You don't got the money.
You're going to need like $10 million.
Yeah, and you don't got the money, and you won't have the money because you're not being smart.
Yeah, so we killed that topic though.
I just get passionate about that too, because I just don't like, I don't know. Social media is so dangerous because it really got people thinking Like, you really would be thinking people got so much money and they really don't.
You just gotta let. Sometimes, you know what the thing is? It's like I care, but I don't. Like I care. I would want people to be educated, but sometimes you just gotta let people be
Yeah, let
lost
people be
because
let-
once you
let
get
them
caught up
go.
in it, then you know, like at this, it sounds very classist too, but at the same time, it's like, you know, they're gonna be where they are, and you're gonna be where you are, and where they are is not gonna impact you. So it's like sometimes it's like, why even care?
Yeah. I just don't want, I don't know. I do care about people in a way, but
I care.
sometimes if you're not really like, I don't really know you. Like, I truly only care about the people who are in my life at the end of the day. So I would want them to take this information, but if anything, but
For me, even if they're strangers, for me, I care about people that care. I think that's the
that's
thing.
true. Because there's people who do care and
That have
they
reached out to
DM,
me.
yeah, me too. DM me, hey, like, I appreciate this YouTube video that you did, or can you tell me about this? Like, all the time, like, I get, like, through Instagram or, like, YouTube or just in, like, my text messages, like, people will reach out all the time. And I'm like, all right, see, that's good. At least I know, like, what I'm saying is not, like, falling on deaf ears. Like, people are actually, like, care. And I think they do admire what we're doing. So, and that's why I believe when we had this podcast, too. So we
Yeah.
could, like, give knowledge and information
Yeah,
for free.
but
You
you
don't
know,
gotta pay us no monthly fee.